Hey, welcome to the show, everybody. Welcome to the Council of Future Conflicts. My name is Scott, proprietor of the Conflict channel. Today, we're talking the domestic front of the Iranian war on day 13. This is episode 642. I apologize for not making it on Monday and Wednesday, but I was otherwise detained, rightfully so. You render unto Caesar that which is Caesar's, and that's kind of what I was doing. But I'm back here today, all rested up, ready to go. I understand the ladies treated you guys politely, didn't leave too many scars or wounds. I hope you guys are doing well. Though Molly's book looks pretty fucking awesome from what I can see, Joe.
Yeah, it does. She's been working on it pretty good. She's a solid writer anyway. If you haven't read, what is it, Babylon's Fallen Star, you should, and then get on with this stuff. So yeah, I was glad to have her, and I pointed out that it's back to the old school, right? Molly was one of the originals. So
Yep, she was one of the original 5 on Writers Fix Problems back in the day, and she's always been game to kind of jump back into our end of the pond whenever we invite her. So I think it's good to have like points of view that are a little 90 degrees off azimuth from what we normally kind of do here. So I think. I hope. Unfortunately, I got no steak and lobster. I did have a hamburger the other night, though. Joe, how you doing? I mean, you're kind of dealing with your own situation right now, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm on a free sample of the Boog version 2.0, and it's only marginally better than 1.0 because we were a little more prepared for it this time. And we had a significant straight line wind event down the valley, and this one did even more damage than the first one. So, man, it's a good day for donations to the camp because we've gone through a lot of chainsaw fuel, chainsaw blades, and diesel running the tractor around the property. So, and we're still not dug all the way out from it. We still have roads blocked. We still have trees down in the campground. So got to get those cleared out before we can let people stay here. And it's been an interesting 24 hours. But on a good note is that Yogi, those of you who have met him, Yogi's one of the best men you'll ever meet. He announced that he's going to turn me into a lumberjack yet because I'm following his direction on running a saw and moving trees around. So we're learning skills.
Yeah, that's awesome. Watcher, how you doing, brother?
Doing all right. Just cold and windblown, but doing fine.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's get started, shall we? We've got a lot to talk about today. We can say that there are other things going on in the world besides, but let's be honest. The Muslim threat is definitely going to be one of the underlying themes of this entire show today. So let's start out with something that's a little, it's humorous. It's a little light. Something that takes our minds off the shit that's going on around us in the world.
Hold on, I have to point something out here, and it comes from the chat, but I'm gonna point something out. Scott was gone for a couple of days, and in that couple of days, it comes out that the new Ayatollah is critically wounded. Yeah. I'm not saying it was Scott, but I'm not saying it.
I mean, I look like a mild-mannered dude, but I'm just saying that
everybody's got extracurriculars, right?
I've got hobbies. I got hobbies.
and I'm going to give Mrs. Tactical Wisdom credit for this because she threatened my life if I didn't. I hear that the man, before he was given the job, and then right after the bomb that hit him, he looked at the doctors and said, "Ayatollah, I didn't want the job." Here he is.
You're like that. This way, if everybody in the chat thinks it's a dad joke, I can just blame her.
There's a dad joke right there.
It is. A lot of crazy stuff going on domestically, and we've got some people making sure that everybody knows exactly what time it is.
In regards to the Michigan car ramming, we do not yet have a motive. And yes, the suspect happened to have been a Muslim, but that was an unrelated coincidence. And yes, there have been several other unrelated coincidences over the past few days, but that's what they are, just coincidences. We have not yet figured out if there's a pattern here. There was a vicious rumor going around the suspect's name was Muhammad. And I'm just going to say that was pure Islamophobia. There was no... Oh, that was the name of a suspect in the different shooting today in Virginia? Okay. Well, the important thing is to not make this about Islamophobia. I feel like a broken record here. And obviously thoughts and prayers go out to the family of the car rammer. In regards to the...
Guys, we want to let you all know that that's satire based on the chat. Y'all didn't realize that was satire.
I thought it was pretty obvious. But
I want to point out, though, that the guy is superimposed on the real footage. Right. And I find significant, though, is that the very tall man standing behind the people who spoke that day is wearing the bow tie, which is a classic symbol of the Nation of Islam. So,
the irony, Joe, is that the Nation of Islam is the most un-Islamic Islamic group that I've ever
right. They're more like the Black Hebrew Israelites than anything else. Yeah. And I'm going to apologize to you all because since we have no power, we're all staying in one room with the heater on, and there's about 400 pounds of dog over there between Lucy and Thor. About 300 pounds. Deciding to have a battle royale right during the show. So,
you can hear them.
And they're running the full length of the kitchen. So,
all right. Hey, before we get started, I just want to. Okay, so like it is, if my math is correct, if I'm mathing right, it is 9:30 right now in Eastern Time Zone, 9:31. So the time the show will start on the regular going forward, assuming we're not grossly late or whatever, will be 8:30 Eastern. So we are essentially an hour late today. This is my fault. I want to say neither of these two guys, we're responsible. I completely forgot about daylight savings time once again. This time, instead of showing up and starting the show an hour early, I have,
that's good of you. It was mostly my fault, though, honestly.
Okay, now that yes, Watcher didn't show up until like about 10 minutes before we went live, so I'm just saying. Watcher's like, no, wait a second. I was here.
I was like, you can follow that part if you want, but it was me.
I will point out that I dragged myself out of bed at the right time, and I was hunting everybody down. That's okay though. As long as we all get together at some point and we get this info out, that's all that matters.
Yeah, and so here's the thing, 9 times out of 10, this show has been us just kind of talking about stuff we want to talk about, and yeah, it could potentially have some future use to you based on a vague threat or something like that. But I think you're starting to see that a lot of these vague threats that we've been talking about for a long time are not so vague after all. In fact, they're very specific. And the type of people we are, which is generally Christian, generally conservative, and I probably am not being too off. I mean, I would say the majority of our audience is probably white. These are the types of people who are the perfect targets for these just outside of their rational head, Islamic actors that are going to do something stupid because of this war. So the numbers started, the number channel started the day after the war started. We already talked about that. And we're starting to see these wackos pop up on a regular basis. I just am worried about when the non-wackos show up. And we'll talk about that a little more later. All right. First up on the odds and ends today, we're talking a little bit Brazil. Joe, did you hear that Lula is a distant second? I think is it Bolsonaro's son or is it his brother? Isn't it? It's one of Bolsonaro's relatives, right? Not that's going to run against Lula.
I don't know. I wasn't aware.
Yeah. I think I just caught that in I don't know. I can always look it up here real quick, but let me just talk about this one here. President Lula, we don't have to listen to him because he's, not worth listening to. I don't read sign language and he's not speaking in English. Here in South America, we place ourselves as a region of peace. Here, no one has a nuclear bomb. Here, our drones are for agriculture, for science and technology, and not for war. We think of defense as deterrence. But if we don't prepare ourselves on the issue of defense, one day, someone, who knows who that might be, will invade us. And he is clearly intimating that the United States will invade him. Lula, I kind of think as long as you don't fuck around, you won't find out. But you've been fucking around since day one.
Well, he might get invaded by Argentina.
Oh yeah, the way Mealy's been going here lately, he's he's been doing some pretty amazing stuff. Joe, what's kind of your take on the Brazil situation? Go ahead.
Hold on, guys. Don't rule it out. Won't Brazil's allies and BRICS come to their aid? Sorry, couldn't even get that out with a straight face.
I mean, I ran my. Oh, never mind. Well, Venezuela. Oh.
Well, I would have thought Venezuela before, but now that Lula's in power, he's essentially a state of Venezuela. But this is actually troubling to me personally because my family has a lot of history in Brazil, and Brazil was one of our strongest allies in World War II, and actually did some protecting of the South Atlantic, and actually did some anti-Nazi things while Argentina was busy doing pro-Nazi things. So it's kind of weird to see the two flip-flop over the last 100 years or so. And I would remind everyone before they laugh about Brazil that they have the 8th largest economy in the world. They have the largest army in South America. And they're a very potent force, the Brazilian army.
My question is how much of that army will fight for Lula and his kind of fantastical ideas?
Well, it's not like America. You have a country where there is abject poverty and all but an extremely small few. So if your option is live in the favela or fight for the communists, you're probably just going to fight for the communists.
Watcher, if you can, I just put a link in the private chat if you can pull that up. So this is the oldest son of Bolsonaro. And this is the race will be later this year, I guess. And in the race, the polling is 55 to 45 in favor of Bolsonaro. Now, that being said, even if he wins, they still have the Supreme Court to deal with. And let's be honest, that Supreme Court justice is actually worse than Lula is.
I think he'd look good in a set of those see no evil, hear no evil goggles we've slapped on Maduro.
I mean,
I think Lula would look great in a hole in the ground.
Well, a comedy-sized hole in the ground. That's all right.
Pine box.
All right. I gotta adjust my desktop here. I don't know what just happened. Just all my windows resized. Okay. All right. Let's move on, shall we? Over to the South China Sea or East China Sea. So this is So is Beijing rehearsing for a Taiwan invasion? This video that we're watching of 2,000 Chinese boats formed two giant barricades across the East China Sea, 400 kilometers long. Definitely not fishing. Joe, what's your kind of interpretation of this? I mean, clearly we've known that the maritime militia for a long time is basically an arm of the Chinese military. What's your take?
My take is that they're looking at us and seeing what we're doing and seeing that we're expending our munitions at a record rate and that we're heavily engaged in multiple fronts, and that their moment might be here. So the maritime militia has always had this purpose of being ready for an invasion of Taiwan and being used as an army of small boats, kind of like throwaway targets, right? You might sink 300 of them, but we still have another 700 that will make it through. So I think China's just up in her readiness because she sees a golden opportunity here. There's an old Chinese dude who wrote a book about, seizing opportunities.
Yeah. Attack your enemy when they are weak, not when they are strong.
Attack when you appear to be unable.
Thousands. So this is a separate story, Watcher, that I'm reading from. So you can just continue to show those images if you want. Thousands of Chinese boat mass at sea, raising questions. Let's see. Monitoring ship tracking data on Christmas Day. Jason Wang told something unusual was underway as fishing boats swarmed into parallel inverted L's, each about 400 kilometers long, which is about 250 miles. Wang said you can see roughly 2,000 fishing boats amongst the many thousands of vessels that ply the busy waterway. A GPS-style signal that the commercial ships use to avoid. Let's see. The vessels, which were as close as 500 meters to each other, held their positions for about 30 hours and near gale force winds and suddenly scattered. Something didn't look right to me because in nature, very rarely do you see straight lines. He says we've seen like 300 up to 1,000, but anything exceeding 1,000, I thought was unusual. Maritime and military experts told AFP that the massing of the Chinese boats on December 21st was on a scale they had never seen before. Another incident detected in early January involved 1,000 Chinese vessels clustering around an uneven rectangle about 400 kilometers long for more than a day at the same area in the East China Sea. Hundreds of the vessels were also detected December 25th event. Last week, about 1,200 boats massed in two parallel lines further east than January and December events and held positions for 30 hours. China's massive fishing fleet operates in the Yellow Sea, East China Sea, and the South China Sea, competing with fishers from Japan, South Korea, Taiwan, Vietnam, and the Philippines. While there is debate about why so many fishing vessels would gather in geometric formations in the open sea, experts widely agree that they were not there to fish. The experts say the only plausible explanation is that China is testing its ability to marshal a large number of fishing vessels that could potentially be deployed in a military operation, such as a blockade or invasion of Taiwan or crisis with Japan. Yeah, I think that seems pretty likely to me, Joe. I mean, like individually, these ships aren't that capable, right? They're pretty, and in point of fact, they're pretty shitty. But when you put 1,000 of them together, well, that means that there's quantity has a quality all of its own.
Right. It's like anything else, right? Even humans, right? If you get one or two, you can probably handle them. But when 100 of them come at you, it becomes hard, even untrained. So
yeah, even if they're just 12-year-olds,
Right. Absolutely.
So anyway, I just thought this was an interesting kind of thing that's popping up. Joe, we had talked many times about, hey, this is the opportunity for, especially during Biden's presidency. Like, this is the opportunity for China to do something because, the president is weak and he's got our military focused in other directions. Well, that's exactly what's going on right now. Our military is definitely focused in another direction.
And we're expending missiles and arms at a far higher rate than we were against the Yemenis during Prosperity Guardian.
Exactly right. And so this is just one of those kind of things where I'm not saying that China is either motivated more so than other times to attack, but this would be a great opportunity, all things being equal, for them to attack.
Oh, hey, breaking on that topic.
What does it say? I can't read it.
Yeah, I can't read it.
Thousands of Chinese fishing boats have reportedly been massing in geometric formations on the East China Sea near Taiwan.
That's what we just said.
Yeah, I'm from what I'm understanding, it's happening again this morning, and the pictures we were looking at yesterday were from July for December and July, or December and January.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty interesting.
It would be actually interesting to compare these. Get out somebody who has one of their earlier H. John Poole books and compare some of these boat formations with ancient Chinese fighting formations, right? They almost always use a geometric shape. So it'd be interesting to see if they're doing anything from, say, Lu Zhao or Sun Tzu's earlier writings.
Yeah, I mean, I think, I get what you're saying. I'd be interested to see if there's any kind of like pattern that,
I'm actually going to grab one while we chat here, and I'm gonna see if I can find one.
It makes me wonder, Joe, if there's some capability that we're not tracking that they may have installed on these ships, like an electronic warfare or radar, or you know what I mean, just some sort of.
Using both those formations could be construed as anti-submarine warfare, right? I set up an L in the direction a sub is coming from, or I create a rectangle to box it in.
Yeah, and especially if they all had, for instance, it wouldn't have to be like sophisticated, just kind of basic, maybe active sonar or something like that, so they could almost be like a picket, that they could be used to flush a submarine out of an area if that's what they were trying to do.
Yep. Or even something like a magnetic anomaly detector.
Yeah, right. So just any kind of distributed sensor, that would, maybe one of them is not super helpful, but when you put it, hundreds of them together, it kind of paints a much broader picture.
Yeah.
All right. Joe, you want to talk a little bit about tactical-wisdom.com?
Sure. I was going to have an article out, but we didn't quite make it that way.
Well, the good news is that the power situation is probably giving you a lot of things to write about.
Well, I suppose it could, yeah. But anyway, get a little more prepared, learn some skills, update your make sure your generators are full of fuel and all that stuff. Fortunately, I had done all of that ahead of time, so we were really ready this time. And that's, I guess, the biggest lesson. But go over there and check out the class schedule. This weekend, we may or may not have a land navigation class, depending if we get power back or not. That's coming up tomorrow. And then one that's actually gotten a lot of interest here in the Valley is I'm having a women's only basic pistol class. So kind of cool without the pressure of men telling you what to do. Other than me, I'll be there and I'll still be telling you what to do. But it'll actually be cool. And we have a very full schedule this spring, including lots of our favorites. Matt will be out here June 12th through the 17th. And I'm sure Kay will be here around the same time. And he's planning a lot of small unit tactics classes here this summer, like close quarters battle 1 and 2, patrolling fundamentals, tactics, all kinds of stuff. In addition to the things that I teach, fieldcraft and community security apps. Hey, get registered for a class. Come on out and do what you can. Also, if you want to support the camp, go to veteranscampponderosa.org/donations. Or just go there and click the donation button. I'm not really sure. That might not be /donations, but check that stuff out. See what's there. And remember, I'll say it again. I'm going to say it every show until then. July 24th through the 26th, Mountain Readiness West, right here at Camp Ponderosa. There is a discount code Wisdom5, which will save you 5% off your tickets.
Sounds good. It's gonna be. I'm so bummed that I'm not gonna be there for that. But
now you're going to confirm that you're not going to be here. Okay.
Well, I've got some other information I can confirm too. So I'll tell you after the show. Remind me to tell you guys that because I clearly forgot to tell you before the show, but I have news. So all right, moving on, shall we? Let me talk a little bit about brush beater, shall? In the midst of rising threats, the Muslim terrorism surging globally in 2026, the escalated ISIS attacks in Syria, Africa, lone wolf inspirations hitting closer to home. Iran is definitely on the march with their numbers, channels broadcasting God knows what to God knows who, Al-Qaeda affiliates expanding in fragile regions, and the ongoing fallout from conflicts fueling jihadist momentum. The home front requires vigilance like never before. Disruptions, isolated incidents, and opportunistic threats can leave communities cut off and vulnerable when normal communications fail. Brushbeater Store delivers the tools and trainings to stay aware, connected, and capable in uncertain times. Featuring the Radtel RT950 Pro, a versatile high-performance handheld radio with a built-in spectrum analyzer to scan and monitor frequencies like an early warning system for unusual activity or interference. It offers multi-band coverage, including CB, ham, and more. GPS for coordination and robust transmission power to keep your family, group, or neighborhood linked securely when cell networks go down or become unreliable amidst rising threats. Complemented with proven training, the RTO 3-day course, hands-on field focus instruction in creating signal operation instructions, frequency management, practical radio procedures, operating effectively under pressure in austere and unconventional scenarios. It's designed for real-world preparedness, turning off-the-shelf gear into reliable group communications for community security when threats escalate. Get the RT950 and build your net at brushbeater.store/collection/handheld-radio-HT. Enroll in the RTO course. Upcoming dates 7 to 9 August, and others available at brushbeater.store/collection/training. Use code CFC10 for 5% off all radios, accessories, and courses. Orders over $100 shipped for free. Big thanks to Matt at Brushbeater Store for powering the Council on Future Conflict as Muslim terror rises and home front readiness becomes essential. Head to brushbeater.store, enter code CFC10, and build connected, capable security presence your community needs. Now, back to the show. Yeah, I need to get me one of those. That radio looks like a fucking solid unit.
It's a legit radio, man. I like it.
And it does a lot too. I mean, just the frequencies, like, anyway, yeah, it's
I wish you said it would do them all at the same time, but I know that physics is a thing and it's not possible.
Right. You kind of wish you could just have one radio that does it all, but no. Yeah. Just speaking of radios, Joe, just to nerd out for a second. I know there are uses and there are criticisms of mesh networks and things like that. But I was looking at the the MTU5, MPU. I'm trying to remember it's a MPU-5, right? And it's this fucking this military. Here, I'll just show you what I'm talking about here. I got the link. But it's basically I was trying to find out, like, is this a radio or what is it, right? And basically the way I asked Grok about it. It says it's not so much a radio, it's a computer with a radio attached to it. And it talks about how it's like the hub to a mesh network, right? And they use it for the ATACs. The military uses it for ATACs and some other functionality. It also like connects to your digital radio, so it can give you more capabilities or whatnot. But it's I dropped the link, Watcher, in the private chat. But it's got these 3 articulated antennas coming out the top, and I was like, what the hell is that? Yeah, there you go. Have you seen these before, Joe?
Yes.
Yeah, some pretty interesting capabilities. I mean, yeah, it's probably not what we would want for what we do, but definitely it's some interesting stuff, especially for
if you're fighting non-nation state level actors, it's a fantastic tool and an amazing capability. But if you envision fighting Russia or China, Iran,
right.
It's a beacon that draws them directly to you. And if you envision yourself resisting, a Chinese invasion, because the American government would never do anything wrong, but you're resisting a tyrannical government, you don't want this because it's a beacon attached to your back.
Right. Well, just the channels that it would, it basically tells them exactly what you're doing too, and that the level of sophistication that it basically marks you as a threat is the kind of the way I looked at it.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, really cool stuff out there. There's a lot of fun gear out there. Even this kind of stuff is available to civilians, which is kind of crazy. But anyway, it doesn't hurt to be smart on what this stuff is, just because even though you don't look like you will ever get it. But all right, let's jump into it, guys. So the Iran war continues. The first real kind of air casualty of the of course is not it's not enemy action. It's a KC-135 tanker crashes in Iraq during Operation Epic Fury sortie. And by all accounts, it was a refueling accident. Let's see. U.S. Central Command is aware of the loss of a U.S. KC-135 refueling aircraft, the command stated Thursday afternoon in a media release. The incident occurred in friendly airspace over during Operation Epic Fury, and rescue efforts are ongoing. 2 aircraft were involved in the incident. 1 aircraft went down in the western Iraq, and the second landed safely. This is not due to hostile fire or enemy or friendly fire. More information will be made available as the situation develops. Let's see here. 3 American crewed aircraft are known to have been lost thus far, and they were all F-15Es. So that's prior to this KC-130 loss. By the way, if you go up to the top, you can see what a KC. Just in case you're curious, this is a KC-135. It's a Boeing 707 based refueling tanker, and it's possibly the oldest. I think they are possibly even older than the B-52s, but or at least the same vintage. These airframes. It was based on Boeing's first commercial jet, and they've been around forever. They're trying to change these out for new models, but
the best warrior the Air Force had to offer, Adam Kissinger. Used to fly one of these, and it's a shame he wasn't flying this one.
It's a shame he wasn't flying. The loss of a KC-135 today appears to be the first time one of these tankers has crashed in support of combat operations since 2013, when one went down over northern Kyrgyzstan, killing all 3 crew aboard. This aircraft had been supporting operations over Afghanistan. Let's see what else. The Reuters also reports that the second aircraft was a KC-135 and added that the jet had crashed, had 6 service members on board. Let's see. An updated image. Yeah. So this is that shows that update, that image of the damage to the tail, I guess. Watcher, if you want to go down just a little further. There it is. It says here, an image emerged of social media purporting to show this KC-135 that landed in Israel was missing a large portion of the top of the vertical stabilizer. This Warzone could not independently verify that this was the jet involved in the mishap. And then, so if you go down one more, there's an updated picture that gives you a better view of it. You got to go back to the main story.
Oh, what? Okay.
Yeah, go back to the main story. The Warzone article, the actual story. There you go.
That one.
Yeah. Let's see. This particular aircraft is serial number 63. So it was made in 1963. 8017, a KC-130R assigned to the 314th Air Refueling Squadron, stationed out of Beale. It's an Air Force Reserve Command stationed out of Beale Air Force Base. They've confirmed that 4 of the 6 airmen on board were killed in the loss of the KC-130 over Iraq, and reiterates the incident was not due to hostile fire. Let's see. 4 of the 6 crew members on board the aircraft have been confirmed deceased as the rescue efforts continue. The circumstances of the incident are under investigation. However, the loss of the aircraft was not due to hostile fire.
So you can kind of work out what happened for yourself. Looks like it looks like the one that crashed and went down was probably getting ready to leave station and was trying to transfer whatever fuel it had remaining over to the one that was entering station. Something went wrong with that fueling operation, and the tail of the lower down aircraft collided with the belly of the aircraft that went down. So.
And keep in mind that the belly of that aircraft would have been full of fumes.
Yeah.
And all it would take is one spark or a sudden depressurization to cause an explosion.
Yeah.
It's interesting that they confirmed that 2 got out. My assumption would be that was the pilots.
No, they have not. I didn't see anywhere in the story that they confirmed that 2 got out. They just confirmed that 4 are confirmed dead. Meaning 2
they just haven't found the remains yet. And as Forging Freedom pointed out in the chat, they were recovered, not rescued. There's a difference.
Yeah. Yeah, personal recovery is absolutely the operation in which you recover the bodies of downed pilots.
Unfortunately, as a lot of people who I've heard talk about this that know what they're talking about because they either served aboard one or have friends and family who did. Unfortunately, I believe that they actually warn you that the chances of escaping a refueler aircraft when it goes down are next to nothing.
Evidently, I'm sorry, this just kind of like it just came across my feed here. Iran has now fired 3 ballistic missiles at Turkey. Oh
wow, you didn't? Yeah, sorry. I had a hard time sleeping last night, and I saw that. And I thought of you, but also, on the list of things that it would be the most retarded for Iran to do, provoking Turkey at this point might be pretty high up there. Then again, I don't think Turkey's going to do anything about it unless you got a bunch of dead Turks.
Yeah. All right. Here, what's next here? Oh yes. So we I guess on Wednesday you guys talked about the fact that they had a new Ayatollah, and he was, of course, alive and well. Of course, not hidden anywhere. Not
Yeah, we went through all of it, including the reports that have been seen that sound the most likely that he was at the compound when the war started, and doesn't know that he's supreme leader. He's in a coma, but making him supreme leader is actually a power jockeying thing between various factions.
Yeah. U.S. says new Ayatollah wounded, disfigured, while other Iranian leaders defiantly march in Tehran as bombs fall. Trump and the Pentagon claim the U.S. and Israel are totally destroying Iran with as the war enters the day 14. With Trump warning Tehran to watch what happens, and I'm killing them. What a great honor it is to. Iran's new supreme leader is reportedly alive, but wounded, damaged, and disfigured. France and Italy opened talks with Iran in hopes of securing safe Hormuz Strait passage. It's not fucking happening. They're shooting ballistic missiles at everybody, no matter how nice or mean they were to Iran. They're not going to let your fucking ships go through the Straits of Hormuz.
No, and honestly, another part of this that needs to get brought up is that did you guys hear that Trump's been making all this noise about how these tanker captains need to step up and need to grow a pair, blah blah blah. But the Navy has officially told all merchant mariners that it's not safe for us to try and escort you through there right now. We might be able to start escorting you through there by as soon as the 1st of next month.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think there's a lot of mines and stuff like that in there. They legitimately do have to do clearance operations before. All right, let's see what else. Hegseth briefing: the U.S. and Israel have hit more than 15,000 enemy targets since the conflict began. Several senior Iranian officials have openly marching through the streets of Tehran today amidst smoke from the U.S.-Israeli bombings in the background. CENTCOM, 4 of 6 crew members. Okay, we already talked about that. Strategic risks remain. All right. Let's see. Writing on Truth Social, Trump said, "We are destroying the terrorist regime in Iran, militarily, economic, and otherwise. Yet, if you read the failing New York Times, you would incorrectly think that we are not winning. Iran's Navy is gone. The Air Force is no longer. Missiles, drones, everything else is being decimated. Their leaders have been wiped from the face of the earth." Yeah, here's the thing, guys. I don't get where, like, I see some of these, like, low engagement accounts or the mainstream media or famous people talking about like we're losing, or like Trump is really in trouble over this, or I'm like, why?
Here's why. I'll tell you why exactly. Plain Fag shared it this morning. Breaking: a new analysis of Jewish Onliner finds that much of the support for a supposed American backlash of Operation Epic Fury on X is actually being driven by foreign accounts.
Right.
7 out of 10 generating the most interactions about Iran were based outside of the U.S. Every one of them is negative.
It is not popular for the U.S. to win. We live in an age of the instant win. Everyone believes if we don't win a conflict in less than 24 hours, we're losing. We fought after we entered the war, there was still 4 more years of war in World War II. And they forget that, right? War is not as cut and dried or hyper as everyone thinks it is. It's going to take some time, especially when fighting a nation as large as Iran. And when you look at Iran's topography, it is essentially a fortress, right? It's got mountains rimming it all the way around in a central plains area.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to get in there. So it is going to take a little bit longer than planned. We're just in the news, or in the world of a 24-hour news cycle. People expect everything to be done by now. It's just not the way it is.
Well, the irony is that I don't think I can see how the Trump administration may be looking at using special operations or maybe, some kind of very limited ground strikes, especially like that Cash Island or Kurg Island. I can't remember what the name of it is, but the island off the coast that's their major petroleum transshipment station. Like these would be, cargo. Thank you. These would be the absolute right kind of areas to use ground forces because you have a limited, discrete objective. Versus the kind of Iraq style going in and trying to secure an area or to use conventional forces to reduce some sort of a defensive position or something like this, right? So I just don't understand where some of these nominally smart people are coming off with some pretty janky analysis of this. Especially like the conservatives, right? The anti-Israel conservatives, like the Tucker Carlsons and the Candace Owens. I mean, they are so far out in fucking la la land on the reality of A, how bad Iran is, and B, what the reality of the war is that I just don't quite understand it. I mean, it's just like obviously it's an op, and it's just I just don't have the wisdom to be able to understand what their end game is.
If you look at it from any objective standard, the regime of Iran since 1979 has been literally evil.
Yeah.
And there's no excuse for it. There's no justification for their behavior of shouting death to America and death to Israel. I care less about death to Israel, but I still believe that they have a right to exist. But my point is that you're calling for the absolute extermination of an entire people. And you can't reason with that, and you can't just hit a couple targets and expect them to change their behavior. They believe that they are on a mission from God, and the only thing you can do is dismantle them entirely, send them to meet God so he can tell them that they're wrong.
Yeah. Yep, that's exactly right. I 100% agree. Watcher, any more thoughts on this?
No, pretty much the same. Just take it and expand it.
Short digression, but as I'm sitting here in the kitchen, I can see much more of the yard than I usually can from my desk. And I want to thank the Camp Ponderosa herd of deer for their extensive work right now in helping me clean up the backyard by eating all of the moss that was blown out of these trees. They're doing a great job out there right now.
Yeah. I mean, it's if you can't have goats do it for you, might as well have the deer do it, right?
Might as well have the deer do it.
All right. This is a longer story, but I think we kind of got the key point there. There's some other stuff, but we'll continue on. We got a lot to talk about aside from that. All right. Let's see. This next one is Iran's new supreme leader just spoke, and it's worse than I expected. Key statements. Okay. So like this is their position. Let's just assume it's not him that's actually saying anything because he's in a fucking coma. So this is his spokespeople. So these are the people around who are still calling the shots in Iran. All U.S. bases should immediately be closed in the region. Those bases will be attacked. We will obtain compensation from the enemy. If they refuse, we will take their assets to the extent we deem appropriate. And if that is not possible, we will destroy an equivalent amount of their property. We have foiled attempt to divide this country. Okay. The Straits of Hormuz must remain closed. Countries in the region must clarify their position regarding who has aggressed against Iran. Discussions are ongoing regarding the opening of other fronts in areas where the enemy has little experience and is highly vulnerable. these other new fronts may be activated if the state of war continues and if it is deemed appropriate. In brief, he is more hardline than his father. His demands from the U.S. are extensive. First of all, this is not him. These are people that are making this, because this guy is on a fucking ventilator probably somewhere.
This guy is dying, right?
Second, and most important, you always threaten to hold off your most important and most dangerous weapons until after you've already been beaten bloody to the point where people don't know you even exist anymore, and you are basically already fallen as a regime. That's the point at which you unleash your most dangerous weapons. Pretty sure Sun Tzu said that.
Watch her go down. There's some good ones. You guys all saw the cardboard cutout version of him. Now you could get him on a box. And there's another good one down there.
They got the idea because I have that's really good.
He is not real.
I keep a similar cardboard cutout of Mark Sibley here. So.
So you have something to cuddle with?
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, I take that one personally. But the other point on this is that they may be alluding to what happened yesterday, right?
Yeah.
Which we'll get to in a minute. What did you do to our display watcher?
I didn't do that. I think Scott did.
I didn't touch it.
Oh,
thank you very much for blaming me.
So I don't think this is real. Let me put this out there before Elon comes out of Sun X.
There he is.
Hey, speaking of, I think you just said Elon, right?
Yeah.
Speaking of yesterday, he made a comment about that story out of Michigan we shared, where the man drove up over the curb, hit the family, and got out and shot him. He goes, "You probably haven't heard about this." I put, "Unless you're subscribed to tacticalwisdom.locals.com, and you clearly aren't, Elon, fix it." So we'll see if Elon Musk decides to sign up. But we did cover that story here on our show, despite the mainstream media trying to bury it. But 100%.
Yeah.
So Scott, the part that you missed was the wonderful color commentary that our guests were able to add last time, which is do you know what is going on? Do you know what the word is around the circles of women about this person?
What's that?
Well, you see his medical records have leaked, and it turns out that the man has visited London for treatment for impotency on 4 separate occasions.
Oh no.
Which, might point to his anger.
Yeah, he might have some problems. Well, I think that's where the missile that couldn't quite get it up was. I think that's where that was kind of.
Oh, that was cold.
Yep. All right, Lance Corporal veteran for $5. 2 months ago, I was reported China's fishing boats were doing maneuvers in the China Sea, going from sailing randomly to forming multiple columns. Yep. That's exactly what we were talking about. And if I remember correctly, we covered this on the show, but it's kind of like we've got a lot more context now, and it means a little more when we're sitting here in the middle of a war with Iran. So,
yeah, it means a lot more now that we are distracted and fully engaged elsewhere.
Derna for $5 says, "Are you guys forgetting about the army of female ninjas in the Besiege?" Oh, it's funny you should mention the Besiege, because evidently we've got some Besiege material coming up here.
Yeah, there's some video of the Besiege here.
So just so happens, here we go, and
there's a little
Besiege. There's the Besiege, and it's gone.
Well, there's a little, and there's a little.
There's a little.
There's a little.
Listen, when you get to Iran, the Besiege is literally all over the place. They have scattered elements everywhere. And I think it's funny they're called the Besiege, and they're currently being besieged.
Yeah. Well, so here's the thing. Like, you just saw 2 dudes at a car. They're going after 2 dudes at a car, right? So this is we're getting into the hunting the terrorists down, the kind of Afghanistan style, Iraq style kind of going after the micro targets. So I wouldn't be surprised if you don't start to see in the near future a campaign by the U.S. and Israel to start turning out the civilians to begin, operations to start to seize control of parts. And once they've got, once they have like an airfield or something like that, we could start supplying them with all those seized AK-47s from Yemen that we got.
Well, and I guarantee you that each one of these incidents began with occurred on a phone, right?
Yep.
So there's probably a lot more going on.
So I wouldn't be surprised if this basically is the unannounced next phase of the operation, right? The Mossad agents are probably pretty thick on the ground at this point. And my understanding is there are channels in which the Iranians are able to report the location of IRGC and besieged forces like within like civilian areas.
I have breaking news, and I can't do it anymore.
All right.
Hold on, I got to share it with audio. Here you go. Oh shoot, wrong tab. That one right there. So Ateas points it out well. We're about to hear a phenomenal thing, but like literally anything besides letting the F-22 get a kill. Breaking news, General Jan Kane just revealed that U.S. artillery forces made history by blowing up an Iranian submarine using Army ATACMS along with other ships. That's
nice.
Pretty fucking cool.
That is very cool. All right, let's listen to the speech there. What's he got to say?
Oh yeah, sure. Let me full screen it.
On to project power beyond their borders and protect our deployed. In just the first 13 days of this operation, our artillery forces have made history. They fired the first precision strike missiles ever used in combat, reaching deep into enemy territory. They've used Army ATACMS to sink multiple ships, including a submarine, and they've done all of this with the precision and determination that comes from relentless training and trust in each other and in their weapon systems. Yesterday, I had the incredible...
That's pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
You need a special badge for that.
Let's talk about an impact award.
The Deep Impact Award.
All right. Let's see.
Oh yeah, this one. This one's next. This is a good one.
Yeah. So this besieged guy basically says, "Let's see. I'm going to read this because I was thinking because yeah. Hold on a second. All right. He says, an IRGC besieged member recorded himself abandoning his post, declaring that he believes the Islamic regime is finished. Everyone is gone or leaving. I'm going home too. He's like, fuck this. I'm not going to be the last guy standing when the pitchforks and torches show up.
I just have one brief message to any besieged people who might be watching this, or just Iranian regime members in general. You can run, but you'll die tired.
Yeah, these guys, they know who almost all of these guys. Oh shit! Here we go. Watcher, I'm sorry, I gotta share this one with you.
Standing by. Yeah, okay.
I mean, we have footage from the hospital room. Joe, I mean, so it looks like he's gotten wounded again.
That's terrible. That's absolutely terrible.
I heard that if they go through many more Ayatollahs, they're going to have a critical cardboard shortage in Iran.
Yeah. All right. let's move on to the next one.
Somebody said, is that Mamdani? I wanted to point out that no, it's not, but he is not far down the list for Ayatollah.
Yeah.
You know what? That deserves a meme. I think that's going up. Breaking. Mamdani declared latest Ayatollah.
What you need to do is you need to get Mamdani as the cardboard cutout, but
you're
in
totally
like the
right.
mayor's office.
You're totally right. That's exactly what needs to happen.
All right, next one up. Fox News reported on March 11th that citing U.S. intelligence that Iran had relocated its remaining enriched uranium stockpile to a facility known as Pickaxe Mountain. Let's go ahead and just watch this clip first.
Pulled away what's left of their uranium into what's known as Pickaxe Mountain, a nearly impenetrable bunker buried deep in granite where evil scientists have been working around the clock, cobbling back together a program that was obliterated during Operation Midnight Hammer. The bunker busters might not be able to do the trick. Reports say special forces might have to be inserted to physically shut it down on the ground. U.S. intelligence believe the Iranians squirreled.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that was it.
Yep, it's for
Hold on, though. If it's been obliterated, you can't have then moved it into an underground facility. So one of these two things can't be true, right?
Let's see. The IAEA claims that 440 kilograms of 60% enriched uranium before the war. After the strikes, Grossi assessed approximately 200 kilograms may remain. Of course, that's a fucking a wild ass guess.
Yeah, it's just a random number, right?
Yeah, right. Exactly right. That material, 7 to 11 nuclear weapons worth, 1 week's further enrichment, is now inside a granite mountain that no bomb can penetrate and no inspector can enter because Iran has denied the IAEA access to the site since February 28th. The war's existential minimum was defined by the Secretary Hexas. No nukes on the nuclear infrastructure must be destroyed with or without the regime change. The GBU 57 was the instrument. Pickaxe Mountain is the limit. The instrument has met material it cannot defeat. So the problem here is that they may have an underground shelter that is deeper. Now, that being said, they can absolutely destroy the entrance. It's not hard to watch a mountain and find out where the shafts of air are coming in and out, things like that. I mean, this is all stuff that we have the ability to do. And if it's in the middle of nowhere, then we could probably just send special forces in and crack it open. Now that wouldn't be easy, but it would be, at least something this is just a problem set that needs a new solution. That's all it is.
Well, getting in isn't the problem. It's getting back out, right?
Yeah. And it might just be easier to seal the whole fucking mountain up and just say, well, they're in there forever.
Yeah. Some archaeologist will find it in the future.
And be like, yep, they were in there. All right. All right, here we go. Next one up. 6 French soldiers injured. 6 French soldiers injured in drone attack on their joint base with Peshmerga forces in Makhmur, northern Iraq. Is France about to get dragged into this mess? Let's see. There's a video of multiple drones slamming into the French military base in Erbil, Iraq, and Kurdistan. Does this just make the French want to surrender faster, or does this drag them into the war potentially? What do you guys think?
I think that I'm gonna show you this before I answer. Oh shoot. Sharing now is much harder. Have I mentioned this? Give me just a second. There we go. Faster than I thought it would be.
A guy can dream.
I know, right?
I don't think France is going to get involved. I think counter signaling us is more important to them.
As I said on Wednesday, I'm going to bring it up again. France is already involved. They've had a naval base struck, and French air assets have been engaged from the beginning in a defensive nature in the UAE.
Yeah, but that's right. They've been shooting down drones and things like that. They were incoming.
Yeah. And British, I might add. So.
Excuse me.
But the Brits are also learning that maybe we said the wrong thing at the beginning, and we might have to change our mind.
Yeah, maybe we are not involved.
Yeah. I'll also point out once again that the Hellenic Navy has done more to protect British military personnel in Cyprus than the British military personnel in Cyprus have done to protect themselves. So.
All right, moving on to Hamas and Hezbollah. So Hamas is taking this opportunity and maybe Israel's distraction as an opportunity to try to reconstitute some of their forces. I see they bought new Toyota pickups and are now ready to as soon as they go out in the middle of anywhere, they will be destroyed, thank God. But unfortunately, those Toyotas will go.
You know how you can tell they're new? They don't have a pintle mount installed yet.
That's right. Hamas is using the war against the Islamic regime in Iran to recruit new fighters. Today, Hamas militants staged a propaganda parade presenting newly recruited fighters armed with AK-47s. Since the start of the war in Iran, Hamas has intensified its recruitment campaign and attempted to restore its control of the Gaza Strip. Now, what do you notice about these trucks? These guys jump out and disappear into these tents, and those trucks are just civilian white pickup trucks, right?
Guess who runs that camp? This is important. That camp is run by UNRWA.
UNRWA, yeah, right.
Who else drives around in white vehicles everywhere in the world?
The UN.
Huh. Weird.
Funny but this is not a power play that they think it is. All of these guys could literally drop their weapons, disappear into the crowd, and basically blend in with the kind of clothes that they're wearing.
Yeah.
Their weapons are all small arms, so they could just be dropped. And what are you talking about? I wasn't one of those guys, and so, I mean, they have all the menace of the Mexican cartel, and we saw how quickly the Mexican cartel kind of faded into nowhere after that day of rage they had a couple of weeks back. So, this is kind of the last gasp of Hamas. Once the war with Iran is over, I get the feeling that the Eye of Sauron will make its way back to Hamas. It is currently on Hezbollah right now, and there's some really funky stuff going on with the army in. Let's see. What's happening in Lebanon is a coup d'etat in real time, led by the army commander and some of the other LAF officers. The cabinet outlawed Hezbollah's military wing, declared its operations illegal, and ordered the army to disarm it. Haykal's response, flat-out refusal, no deployment, no enforcement, just open defiance in the civilian government, the flagrant violation of Article 65 of the Lebanese Constitution, which vests executive power in the Council of Ministers as the sole authority to which the armed forces are legally subjected. This is outright insurrection. So here's the thing. This guy is not the only kind of center of power within the Lebanese military. Other parts of the Lebanese military are, in fact, supporting the Lebanese government. But it's interesting to see when the Hamas money bags, where they have been deposited, because these cowards are going to come forward. And let me just tell you, I don't think guys like this belong to the world.
Well, this is the classic example of Lebanon, right? The money is too darn good for this commander. He gets paid to look the other way. You'll probably find he's a Southern District commander and probably commands the area around the Litani River. And he's just making enough money to look the other way. And the Lebanese military has been a non-factor in the Hezbollah, Israel, Lebanon war since about 1960.
Yeah, I think you're going to see a lot more friction in southern Lebanon before it's all said and done.
Is that Tom Hanks? Well, maybe.
All right. Let's go to the next one here. This is interesting. Joe, I'm curious what your take is on this. Israeli media reports Egypt is quietly increasing its military buildup in the Sinai and is transforming the demilitarized buffer zone into a major military stronghold. And my take is that they don't want any part of Hamas and the Palestinians getting into Egypt, is what I think.
Well, I think that they see the potential for the war to spread, and they'd like that spread to stop in the Middle East and not come to North Africa.
Right. Yeah, it's like they already have enough problems in Africa. They don't need fucking Palestinian problems as well. Yeah,
and Egypt has always been on a knife's edge. I mean, they had in the last 10 years, our government's changed hands twice, right? Yeah. They would like as little conflict within their borders as possible. And they've always been leery of the Palestinians ever since Anwar Sadat was killed.
So this is just one of those kind of things that just shows that tensions are on the rise, and we will see greater tension in the region in the weeks and months to come. Let's see. All right, kind of switch it over to the domestic terror. So this next one, we talk about terror every week, right? There's literally a terrorist attack every week in America nowadays, and it's on the uptick since then. And it's one thing when guys like us with military backgrounds are talking about it. It's another thing altogether when your random ass Instagram model starts going on about it. Let's watch this video.
Here's what jihadis have done in the U.S. in the last week. One shoots up a bar in Austin, Texas, kills 2, shoots 14. Another one lights a Molotov cocktail and throws it at Christians in New York City. Another one throws a nail bomb or shrapnel IED at Christians in New York City. Another one tries to bomb a Southwest flight going from Nashville to Fort Lauderdale. Another one throws another IED shouting Allahu Akbar at a protest near Gracie Mansion in New York City. Another one makes a bomb threat and forces a plane to land in Atlanta. Another one drops a bomb threat at Kansas City Airport. And the DHS is reporting that jihadi threats against churches across the US right now are completely exploding. Radical Islam, for some reason, is the one religion that the left will fight for till their dying breath for whatever reason. And Christianity is somehow always the problem. Funny how that works.
It's true.
I just like to say that when I criticize white women, it's the woke white women that I'm criticizing. Yeah.
You could have said unattractive and still said the same thing.
I mean, I don't want to be seen as petty and superficial, Joe.
All right. But their statement is accurate. I pointed this out yesterday that the left is bending over backwards to justify the man from Dearborn Heights. Oh, but his niece and nephew were just killed in an Israeli airstrike. Really? That's what he claims. You don't know that that's true. You're just taking that at face value. And that doesn't justify him attacking some school kids in Michigan. It's crazy. Yeah. The same people who will tell you you can't blame all Muslims are trying to justify this man by blaming all Jews for what the Israeli government does.
Yeah.
That's the part that gets me. And so many on our side, even our own people and some of our viewers, fall for it and say, yeah, well, they're Jews. They must have been involved. These are pre-K kids. They're not involved in anything.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'll get off my soapbox.
No, you're good, man. You're justified, if you ask me. Oh, right. And then, so this is a little more kind of broader, but this just kind of goes to, this is just one small threat, but this is, you know, it's way more broad than this. This is Jorge Ventura. He's one of those original kind of like, goes back to, what was it? The original Milwaukee riots during, was it 2020? And even maybe even before that, like George Floyd, I guess. Anyway, here in Tijuana, Mexico, sources tell me the Islamic mosque behind me, just 2 blocks away from the U.S. border, should be a national security concern. Let's hear what he has to say about it.
I just arrived here in Tijuana, Mexico for our national security story on Iranian sleeper cells, but also special interest aliens like Chinese nationals and more from other countries in the Middle East. Now, right behind me is this Islamic mosque that has caused national security concerns. I've been speaking with Mexican and American law enforcement sources saying that some of the individuals that stopped at this mosque before getting aided by Mexican cartels to cross illegally into the United States actually were harbored here between 1 to 30 days. What I just did right now is I just did interview some of the migrants that were outside of this mosque. Some of them have actually only been here for a week from East Africa. One of them did confirm that one of the individuals at this mosque is from Iran. So that individual must have arrived quite shortly or just recently. And they did deny an interview. We tried to get an interview with the director. They denied, and we did put in some requests before we actually arrived today, and were denied. And speaking to some of my sources, they say that some of the men here in the past, especially under the Biden years, were special interest aliens and had ties to terror groups. They were essentially harbored here, and then eventually they were crossed illegally into the United States, where many of them were directed to destroy their identification or just throw away and disregard passports and things like that. That's what Corey with GOAT Initiative on the American side, he's been able to collect and then link some of those individuals to this mosque here. Once again, this is just a couple of blocks away from the American border. One has to wonder if this is on the radar of law enforcement, especially right now because the United States is at war. And I was able to confirm with one of the individuals, at least one of the individuals staying at this mosque right now is from Iran. So that individual must have arrived recently. So stay tuned for a full report here from Tijuana, Mexico, and the American side on national security on Iranian and Chinese sleeper cells, potentially in the United States, as this terrorism threat is real.
But I thought no one was illegal on stolen land, Joe.
That's what I heard. But the H. John Poole book, Tequila Junction, was written well over 10 years ago. And in that book, he describes the rat line that runs from the tri-border area, Paraguay, Uruguay, and Argentina. And it runs all the way up to right where he's standing. And it's a series of Muslim towns and mosques that folks travel from. They arrive in either in Argentina or Brazil, make their way to the tri-border area, and they follow this same path. There's even a couple of towns that are entirely Muslim along the way. And when you get near the U.S. border, there's a breakoff, one that leads to the Tijuana Mosque and another one that leads to Mexicali, Mexico. And Mexicali has had its population change to almost entirely Chinese. So there is an industrialized chain of safe houses for folks traveling north and getting up there. So this is not a new problem, but it is a serious and a real problem.
Yeah, it's a good way to put that. Watcher, you got any thoughts? I mean, clearly there are operations that are ongoing just right across the border. I mean, we've done a good job to kind of stop the flow of illegals coming across, but that doesn't mean that somebody with who's very motivated couldn't make it happen.
Oh, I would say we've probably done a good job of stopping the obvious illegals, but I mean,
yeah. Like I said, a motivated person is going to be able to get it behind.
Certainly. No, not really anything to add. It's something we've been talking about for a long time, and it's good to see people finally exposing it. But yeah, I don't know what more we're going to do without Mexico stepping in and saying, yeah, we'll let you come in and start raiding places.
Yeah.
Ironically, Tijuana is just a really short drive from San Diego and Coronado.
Yep. Yeah. It's literally Tijuana is just right across the border. You know, from you know. Let's see. What is it? Like the hotel, like the Coronado just goes down. I can't remember exactly what's right there, but what part of San Diego? But it's basically San Diego's right on the border.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Let's move on. So our first kind of domestic terror story is this Old Dominion University story, guys. I kind of caught this. I kind of caught the beginning of it when I heard about it last night, my time, and then I caught up again later today. Old Dominion University shooter. His name is Mohammed Jolie. Joel.
Who you might find somewhat familiar, right?
Muhammad. Born in Sierra.
Before.
What? Say again.
He was arrested before.
Oh yeah.
For the same thing. So.
Born in Sierra Leone, became a naturalized U.S. citizen, radicalized by Al Qaeda, convicted for providing material support to ISIS, sentenced for 11 years in prison, released from prison early under Biden. Huh.
Weird.
Biden. Now watch how quickly the story story is not going to disappear because guys like us and everybody in the fucking world is talking about this. But the irony is not because of this guy. We're not talking about this guy. We're talking about the fucking heroes and the victims who are going to make this guy famous. So here's some additional details on the attack. Additional details have been released today by today's attempted mass shooting of the Old Dominion University in Norfolk, Virginia, with reports suggesting that the intended target of the shooter, identified as ex-National Guardsman Mohammed Jalloh, 36, was ODU's reserve ROTC. According to reports, Jalloh stormed into a classroom inside of Old Dominion University's Concert Hall and asked if this was the ROTC. When somebody confirmed that it was, he launched into what is now being investigated as a terrorist attack, shooting the professor several times, resulting in the death of the retired military officer. We're going to talk a little bit more about him here in a second. A military officer in charge of the school's ROTC program. However, before he could turn his gun on the rest of the class, several cadets jumped on Jalloh, with one cadet stabbing him over 22 times, killing him, likely saving dozens of others. So basically a cadet stopped this guy. So a good guy with a knife stopped a bad guy with a gun.
I want to point something out here. First of all, I teach a knife combatives class, so take it. No, but second of all, they only were forced to use their bare hands and knives because Old Dominion, like all colleges in Virginia, bans the possession of firearms on campus, allows students the right to defend themselves.
Oh, the Steel Toe Morning Show is rating the stream. Great. Watcher, did you see what popped up as soon as the thing came up?
Oh wow!
I already got it.
Okay.
That was funny. Welcome, to his viewers. We appreciate you guys for being here.
Hey, Gene Rogers raises an important point. Note that the media is only showing this photo of him in a uniform. They're not showing his mugshot or any of the photos of him in Muslim garb, which do exist.
Yeah.
They're painting a picture that this uniform equals bad.
Yes, Steel Toe Morning Show says, guys, be nice in this chat, please. Don't be dicks. No, they can be dicks. That's fine. We actually don't mind. We have pretty fucking tough skin, and this is on Rumble. So, hey, what are you going to do? All right. We were just in the middle of talking about the Old Dominion shooting. And so the next thing I want to kind of focus on is the victim, right? The victim, like I kind of identify a little bit with a guy like this. He's retired, victim of the terrorist attack. The Old Dominion was identified as Lieutenant Colonel Brandon Shaw. He was retired. I guess he wasn't retired. He's the professor of military science and leader of so this is an active duty officer who his job is to be the PMS of this university, right? Let's see. He was a veteran of the Operation Iraq Freedom, Enduring Freedom, and Atlantic Resolve. His awards include 2 Bronze Stars, Senior Army Aviator Badge, Combat Action Badge, Parachutist Badge, Air Assault Badge, Defense Meritorious Service Medal, yada yada yada. Anyway, so he had all the stuff. So this guy, and if I have any, if I know guys like this, and trust me, I do. This guy probably definitely put himself in between the shooter and his students, even if just to buy them a little bit of time. And his students definitely stood up and did exactly what they should do, which is eliminate the threat. I tell you what, guys, if it's a contracted cadet who did this, I think he should be up for a Valor Award for sure, like a Bronze Star with a V, or maybe even a Silver Star, depending on the situation.
And certainly a meritorious 1-level promotion.
Well, right. The only thing is with him being a cadet, that's kind of hard. But yeah, you definitely can start out your career on the right foot.
Promote ahead of peers. So
exactly right.
I want to raise a point. Y'all know we usually have the 48-hour rule, but these attacks were so blatant, so obvious, and so much information came out with them in the immediate aftermath that we felt the 48-hour rule was not necessary.
Yeah.
And I pointed out yesterday that if you don't live in a freedom-loving state, it is truck gun season, regardless of what your state laws are. I'm sorry, but you are at a point where random violence can explode around you, and you need to be able to handle it effectively.
Yeah.
Carry first aid kit, carry defensive tools.
We will never tell you to break the law, but what we will tell you to do is, if it's better to be tried by 12 than carried by 6.
I will tell you that if the law is stupid and retarded, it should be ignored.
Yeah.
This is not legal advice.
Not legal advice. That's exactly right. Stay strapped. Yeah, dude, Kamalta, you're right on the money there. All right. Moving on. Let's see. FBI. Okay, so this is the FBI press conference that that satirical video was made from.
I want to point out that this person unironically said the most base thing ever. They made him unalive.
Right. I thought maybe she was like talking like a YouTuber.
Yeah. Rendered him unalive. Yeah.
Students were in that room that subdued him and rendered him no longer alive. I don't know how else to say it, but they basically were able to terminate the threat.
So he was not shot?
He was not shot.
He shot 3 people?
Correct. We have information that he shot 3 people.
The one that went to Virginia. How is he deceased?
There were students who were in that room.
So, yeah, I mean, I'm sure we're going to get a lot more information about this as the week, kind of going into the weekend. But this is just one of those, like, the right people in the right place can stop the bad guys.
But I'm going to say this again. You cannot reform these people. There is no reason why he should have been let out on early release. In fact, his sentence was about 1/10 of what was suggested by U.S. sentencing guidelines. And this never should have happened.
Yeah, this guy right here is definitely the ODU guy for sure. Is one of the kind of people that just should be kind of taken out back and taken care of.
Well, and a second guy too. If we followed our own actual true immigration screening guidelines, this guy would not be here. So.
Yeah. And it's almost like this, they're going to have this whole Islam thing in common. You know, oh, you just misunderstand Islam or whatever.
Not even just Islam. They're both tied to terror groups.
Oh, yeah, exactly right. Let's move on to the next terror attack. Did they both happen yesterday?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
One in the morning, one in the afternoon.
Because I remember when I first heard about these, I got confused. I thought it was the same attack. All right. Michigan synagogue attacker came from Lebanon on a visa in 2011, got citizenship under Obama. We're starting to see a pattern there. DHS just confirmed it. How many more of these laws have to happen before people admit the vetting process has been broken for years? Well, yes, it has been broken for years. All
they had to do is ask this guy, do you have any family members that are members of a terrorist organization? Yes, both of my brothers.
Yeah.
Okay, no thank you. Go home.
Yeah, yeah. Sorry, you know, we just can't. It's not that you're a terrorist. We just can't take any risks. You know,
we can't accept this level of risk. Exactly right.
Exactly right. I guess. Let's see. Kind of. Where's the next one? I thought I had one that had more details.
Dirty Mike and the boys raises a good point. Guess that one-time pad number station message wasn't about nothing, right?
Right. It's exactly right. Yeah, if you're not tracking, if you're new to our program, ever since the day after the war started, there was a number, basically a global number channel that went up. That's basically giving one-time pad instructions via radio, and pretty much anybody in the world can listen to it. All right. What's the next one here? Yeah. Okay, so this is interesting. This is the comment section. Breaking. Almost everyone in the comment section of this official Dearborn Instagram page is defending the Hezbollah-affiliated Michigan synagogue terrorists. Let's read some of this, shall we? All right. Let me kind of go back and pause it. So what are they saying here? Smells like a false flag. Wouldn't have been surprised if it was a guy was pressured, threatened, or even nudged into something that could later be used to justify a narrative or a crackdown. What kind of setup isn't unheard of? Interesting that the FBI Detroit office had an active shooter attack prevention training at that temple. He was the sweetest soul. If you knew him, losing his whole family, innocent people that died because of bombings, he didn't lose one person. You lost his entire family.
So what does it have to do with the pre-K, so 4-year-old kids
right.
at Temple Emmanuel? They weren't flying fighter planes.
Yeah. I have a hard time believing a Muslim did this. Either way, it's a bad situation. Let's see what else. He was the kindest man anyone ever in our community. Sadly, mental health is real and was the result of the war being waged in the Middle East. Okay, so you're saying he attacked as part of the in response to the war in Iran. Okay, that's great. That makes him an enemy combatant and somebody who deserves death. But today is just the day he snapped. So when is the day you snap, though? And his snapping might have nothing to do with the fact that he's in Islam. He's from Lebanon. His family are terrorists. I witnessed this guy give pomegranate juice to a customer's family because they wanted it. but I'm assuming couldn't afford it. They asked for a price, and then he said, never mind, insisted. I'm shocked. May God be with every innocent soul involved. These people will do anything they can to make a fucking excuse for this
Anything
guy.
this guy did prior to yesterday afternoon is completely irrelevant. I don't care that he was a nice guy. I don't care that he gave pomegranate juice to someone. I would guarantee you that if he gave pomegranate juice to them, they were probably a Muslim, and that's why he gave it to them.
Yeah, Watcher, the private chat, if you would share the link.
Oh, Cheesehead expat. Like Mao said, the gorilla swims in the sea of people. Exactly right.
Watcher. There you go. Islam is all about peace and love. Just don't suggest it isn't, or we'll fucking kill you.
For the person who made the comment on about there, I can't believe a Muslim would do this. You obviously have absolutely no experience with Muslims anywhere in the world, if you believe that.
Yeah. Let's see. There's rumors that the synagogue was donating dollars to the IDF. It doesn't matter if they were or not.
And the media started covering for him almost immediately, right?
Yeah. Well,
about the sad tale and the pictures he posted the night before. None of this has anything to do with him deciding then that my solution to this is to go murder random people who had literally nothing at all to do with this, but just happen to be of the same religion. It's so ironic.
Yep. He was not black. He was Lebanese.
Don't blame all Muslims, but absolutely blame all Jews.
All right, so let's talk about let's talk about who these people are, these radical Islams that continue to generate the people. Now, let's be honest. 80 to 60% of Muslims in the world are just totally normal people. They just want to farm their farms. They want to raise their kids. They want to do the things that they do, right? But they are being influenced by a religion that is absolutely antithetical to the American way of life. And now, so let's go back to the beginning, Watcher, and let's see what these guys are talking about here.
So this is what we doing. So we're praying at churches now. That's what we doing, Sheikh.
So I don't know if they bought like an abandoned church.
Sorry, brothers. So where are we, man? We at the church? Y'all praying at the church? Y'all praying at the church? What are we doing here, man? Why have we gathered here? Okay, mashallah, we're going to convert the church into a masjid. Okay, man, y'all was scaring me for a minute.
Get the khutbah, habibi. Get the khutbah. Yalla, inna alhamdulillah. MashaAllah. Hey, beginner stages.
I mean, believe them when they tell you exactly who they are and what they're here to do.
It's the principle of the Mosque of Victory, right? It's why the Temple of the Rock, why the Dome of the Rock sits on top of the Temple Mount. Building a mosque on the former faith's home is something Muslims have done all along because they are a religion based upon conquest, not peaceful conversion.
Yeah, and I said it kind of on X a few weeks ago. Islam is not a religion of peace; it's a religion of domination and control, and subjugation. So this is not just happening in small town churches like that. This is happening in the largest cities in the country. Deputy Inspector Asif Akbal, celebrated as a proud Pakistani American of Urdu Pakistani media outlets and community pages, was appointed commanding officer of the 52nd Precinct in New York City. Pakistani American TV, Instagram Reels, Facebook groups, and Urdu news sources gushed over him being promoted to deputy inspector, framing it as a major win for the community. Let's see. And what does he do shortly after securing the promotion? He makes sure that to rush to the mosque and proudly broadcast his precinct's Ramadan trip to the North Bronx Islamic Center. It's almost as if he, as the mayor, want the whole city to know that they have been conquered, posting to the official account with photos of officers in their iftar table. We would like to thank the North Bronx Islamic Center for inviting us to join to break the fast together during the holy month of Ramadan. This textbook external infiltration. Once again, we have top police officers signaling to the Ummah that fellow travelers that the sector is captured. The mosque gets iftar shout-outs, and precinct gets Pakistani origin commander flaunting his ascent. The infidels are supposed to applaud diversity while we keep embedding Islam, a dangerous global movement, the goal of which is to bring every living human being on the planet under its crushing totalitarian rule, the likes of which has never been seen before. They don't hide their conquest anymore. They post the victory lap with the NYPD branding. Yesterday, the radical new mayor's Ramadan fast-breaking photo ops, now the commander-in-chief. How many more precincts before the community outreach becomes full submission? We have female Muslim officers putting hijabs on their fellow Christian female officers on World Hijab Day. I would like to see the Christian American Pakistani deputy inspector broadcasting their Christian celebrations at the local church and then putting it out to their official Pakistani police social media. We cannot even have Christians or any non-Muslims in Pakistan live without threat. So this is just another in the line of just symbolic victories that we're seeing in America. And if you think it's more than it used to be, it is more than it used to be, because diversity, the whole diversity and wokeness is what enabled this to occur. I mean, there was like natural antibodies to Islamic, but infiltration before, but because we could say things and we could be critical, but now forget about it. You can't do that. All right. Moving on to another. So if you want to know, well, why shouldn't we embrace the Islamization? Well, okay, so let's see. This is the kind of stuff you see in Islamic countries. There are actual slave markets in Islamic countries where black people are traded like cattle. The left say nothing. Antifa says nothing. BLM says nothing. The hypocrisy is staggering. They don't care at all.
Wait, I've been assured that was a European thing.
Yeah, well, Joe, unfortunately, it's not.
It always falls apart when you say, okay, but where did the Europeans get the slaves? Well, Africa. Okay, who in Africa gave them the slaves? We're not supposed to ask that.
Exactly right.
I also wanted to point out there's a school district that's under fire because they put out a memo to their teachers, asking their teachers to stop snacking or eating during the day out of sensitivity for their Muslim students and to discourage the other students in class from having snacks or lunch during the day because they didn't want to offend the Muslim students. That has no place in an American school district at all.
Mauritania, according to the UN, Mauritania is an Islamic country that still maintains slave markets publicly with over 80,000 people being traded. So just remember that.
Yeah. Crazy.
Well, Joe, but this is nothing, right? I mean, this is just, they're just making it up. This guy just has this woman chained up in the middle of the market. That's not anything. Certainly, all these things that we've heard about Islam are all lies. Well, let's look at this. My last example, my last plea to you as to the reality of this religion. This is what Sharia law brings you to. Just bring up the last one there, Watcher. What did she do wrong? I don't know, but this is what she gets. Stoning is still alive and well in Afghanistan, in Pakistan, in all over the Islamic world.
Look, when a Muslim says to you, let's get stoned, it's not as much fun as you might think.
Yeah.
She probably did something as drastic as went to school beyond the age of 8.
And then, forget, religious executions like this. Look what Iran just did. They just killed 40,000 of their people for wanting to be just normal, just like any of the rest of us.
Right.
Gentlemen, that's all I got for today. Joe, looking at your crystal ball, what do you think? What do you think we're in for this weekend?
Well, we're coming into the weekend, so I would expect more of the global intifada, bringing you Islam by the sword. So wherever you go, be armed and be ready to treat injuries. So have a first aid kit, have a way to defend yourself, and really pay attention. Right, head on a swivel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't have anything to add to that. I'm just going to back Joe up. I see things escalating rapidly. I'm watching the justifications fly from the left, and as they see that they are given cover from the left, more of them will feel emboldened.
My question is how quickly before people start being proactive about like saying, I don't want that type of thing happening around me. And then unfortunately, some hotheads are going to go out and innocent people are going to pay for it. Right?
I'm not sure exactly the model you're talking about, but as far as something must be done, yeah, I see that coming. I think that'll be within the next probably 3 months.
Right. I don't know what it looks like, but
I do. I know exactly what it looks like, Scott. We all should know exactly what it looks like. We've seen this.
No, but
it's gonna look like nightlife. It's going to look like the Islamic guy in your block's car getting destroyed while he sleeps. It's going to look like
the problem is the real bad guys are either able to stay out of the way or stay hidden, and people who are just too stupid to know what the fuck is going on end up being the innocent victims of that type of thing. So I just hope the people who start being proactive do proper targeting and actually pay attention to who is doing what in the neighborhoods. That's all I'm saying. All right, guys, that's all I got. Let us call it for here. Final thoughts, anything else that we need to cover before we say goodbye? Nothing heard, no alibis. All right.
Donate to Camp Ponderosa.
Donate to Camp Ponderosa. That's very well said. If you haven't done it already, please subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for notifications, like the video, comment, do all the things, share the link with your friends on social media. Let them know you're getting some good stuff over here on the Council on Future Conflict. Appreciate the raid. And as always, we'll be back on Monday. I won't be here on Monday and I won't be here on Wednesday, but I'll be back again on Friday. So Joe, Watcher, good luck to you. Hopefully, we can get some other folks to come on with you and help, inform the chat, as always. So, until then, you guys stay safe.